This is bad. This is really, really bad. Follow along.
You're watching DC-born Rob, Racing Borders. And now, the news.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. You're watching DC-born Rob, Racing Borders. I'm DC Rob. This is the latest breaking news from Medellin, Colombia, and it's bad. This is after a 3-hour live last night discussing just this topic, safety. There'll be one video linked at the end of this one, and that is that live. You need to listen and watch that live from last night. Anyway, I'm going to jump into two stories. This has to do, of course, unfortunately, with the death of another American during a robbery in Poblado, Medellin last night. This happened during our live. This happened while we were talking. This is insane. This is insane. Let me read two stories. The first one is from Minuto Trente. In the middle of a robbery in El Poblado, they killed a gringo. He wanted to resist and they killed him. The foreigner managed to be helped, but due to the severity of his injuries, he died in the hospital. The two murderers were captured. A timely complaint from the community allowed the authorities to capture two people who ended up taking the life of a U.S. citizen in the middle of a robbery. The events occurred in the El Poblado sector in the middle of an attempted robbery where a foreigner was injured with a firearm, who, due to the severity of the wound, died in a health center. Thus, immediately upon learning the facts, the two motorcycles that participated were identified. One of them was abandoned at the site, and the other, in an investigation of a lock and tracking plan, was intercepted with its two occupants by the patrols of the quadrants in Nutibar Avenue. Those captured were placed at the disposal of the Attorney General's office for the crime of homicide. These captured people were recognized by witnesses at the scene. This is how the murder of a foreigner took place. The victim was identified as Marcel Petranu, 55 years old, and according to known information, he was in a restaurant in the area in the company of a woman. And once they finished their food, they left on Carrera 33rd, where they were approached by two men who took out a firearm threatening to make everything happen. Mr. Marcel decides not to get rid of anything and begins to struggle with the man that was carrying the gun. The gun goes off and Mr. Marcel is injured, so he falls to the floor while the man flees the scene. Mr. Marcel is helped and taken to the Las Vegas clinic where he later dies. So this is my first story from Minuto Trente. I cannot get over the fact that we were actually on a live discussing just this. And this was going on, and this is just north of Poblado. I pulled it up on a map, and so I can see the area 33rd and 6th. I can see that intersection is just the north part of Provenza. This is insane. The next story, because I like to read two stories if I can, and this is hot off the press first thing this morning. Thanks to Luis for passing this one on. Again, if you want these stories quicker, you have to be in our group. He can pop this stuff up way quicker than I can. Okay. Anyway, the second one is going to be from El Colombiano. Sometimes there's slight differences in the story, and that's why I like to read two stories if I have them available on the same subject. This one says, a U.S. citizen was murdered during a robbery in El Poblado. Of the four responsible for this crime, the Metropolitan Police captured two of them in flagrant delicto. After chatting in a restaurant, American Marcel Petranu was approached by four people riding two motorcycles to steal his belongings. When he resisted, one of the criminals who was showing him the gun chose to shoot him in the abdomen, a wound that ended up costing him his life. The death of this 45-year-old foreigner occurred at 9:30 p.m. this Tuesday on Carrera 33rd and Calle in the Florida neighborhood of Comuna 14, El Poblado, in the southeast of Medellin, after he was chatting with a woman who was unarmed by his attack. After the shot, this man was taken to the Las Vegas clinic, where he died while being treated by medical personnel. Simultaneously, the criminals escaped from the scene, but Metropolitan Police began their pursuit. And in the middle of this search on Nutibar Avenue and Carrera 74, the uniformed officers managed to intercept one of the two motorcycles and capture two of the alleged perpetrators of this criminal act. Colonel Richard Fajardo, deputy commander of the Metropolitan Police, stated that immediately upon learning the facts, the two motorcycles that participated were identified. One of them was abandoned at the site, and the other was intercepted during the activation of lock and follow plan. with its 2 occupants by the quadrant patrols. With the case of this American, there are already 61 foreign tourists who died in violent events in the last 3 years in the Abura Valley. And for this year, there are 25, according to the Personeria. The statistical count carried out by the public ministry includes homicides, deaths due to drug and scopolamine overdoses, suicides, and accidental deaths, either in traffic or in other circumstances of people who have been in the city for less than 90 days. So there you go. It gives you a slight different story. There were actually 4 people on 2 motorcycles. One of them dropped the motorcycle in the beginning, and the other ones found them on Nutibara. Nutibara is in Laureles. That's on the other side of town. These cameras and whatever system they have in Medellin works. We need that here. Anytime somebody can identify them, and if you can get a license tag, then they have those cameras that can do facial recognition, not only facial recognition, but tag recognition. And they can track that bike all across town. So props to the Medellin police for even catching 2 of these guys. And thank you for the people who got involved. Because if you saw my live last night where I read some of the comments of the last few deaths of gringos, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. They were, almost 99% of the comments were negative. This is the way to get rid of gentrification was one of them. So let it so be, or something like this. We pray that this continues on, or this is the way of the mob cleaning up the neighborhood and getting rid of gringos, and getting rid of gentrification. Go back and watch that video. There'll be one video I will link at the end of this one. You need to see this video. This is insane. Something's got to be done. Something has got to be done. What are we going to do to help? Guys are going to continue to go. And now with the Christmas season coming, they're just coming more and more and more and more in droves. Again, fish in a barrel. Fish in a barrel. These criminals who are coming after us, and I'm an American too. I'm a gringo. Even though I'm not out there, running the streets at 2 a.m. in the morning, I still go. I still want to sit outside and have a meal like he did. And who was that chick he was with? I hope they question her. Who was she texting? We had this conversation last night. Who is she texting? Who is she calling? Because they call ahead, and it's just as soon as their meal was finished, this happened. How did they know his meal was done? Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one unless you go there with them, get by Sweet Georgia Cafe, meet some people, be a part of the community. Join one of the WhatsApp groups, be in the know, watch these videos, join my private group. If you want to join my private group, email me your name and WhatsApp number to dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. Do not send it to any other email. I won't see it, won't respond. dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. Send me your name and your WhatsApp number. We are not on WhatsApp. We are not on WhatsApp, okay? So every time somebody says, I want to join your WhatsApp group, now I have to come back and ask, we're not on WhatsApp. Do you still want to join? Okay, or you don't put your name in the email. And what's your name? And I got to go back and forth. I don't have enough time to do what I'm doing right now. Again, I've totally lost control of the comments. I'm just not able to keep up. Again, it's just me. It's just me. Again, I have help from my researcher. I have help from Luis. But when it comes to editing and putting this stuff up, it's just me. It's a production of one. So donations are definitely welcome. That's what helps me keep going. Also, it helps me to hear those positive and kind, supportive comments in the comments section. So thank you, everybody. I am going through, if you're not, and I think I have it sorted right now. So, I can sort my comments by those who have subscribed. So if I don't comment to you, it may be because you're not subscribed. Okay. So just going forward, just let me put that out there. If I don't respond to your comment, it may be because you're not a subscriber. I think 60% of the viewers are not subscribed. Please like the video. It helps other people see these videos. Guys got to know. Guys got to know. And for everybody who says this is negative, this is news. If you don't want the news, don't watch this channel. Simple as that. This is news. This is news to help you guys. Most of you guys get it. And I see the positive feedback in the comment section. So I appreciate your support. Thank you for getting it. I think knowledge is power. And if you don't know, you're just floating around willy-nilly and don't know which way to look. Don't know how to dress. Don't know how to act. Don't know where to go. Don't know who to be around. You're all by yourself. You're not meeting. You're not talking to anybody else. You need to get up to speed. For everybody who watches this video and is still going to go, because guys gonna go. Like I said, there'll be war in the streets and guys are still going to go. So let me put this, I don't know how many different ways. This is just so frustrating, man, because last night we had this conversation for 3 hours last night. And this happened while we were talking. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, man. Man. What are we going to do to help each other? Because it's not just me. I mean, this has to be a community of travelers. There are expats who are there. Listen to their knowledge. Listen to what they have to pass on. Expats aren't up in Provenzo and Parque Lleras. They're not up there roaming around 2 o'clock in the morning. Ask them why. Ask them how they move. Ask them how they stay safe. Listen to what Carlton said last night. Listen to what King said last night. Listen to what VJ, what Luis said last night. Listen to what Hammer said. And I'm going to cut Hammer's section or even ask him to do another video for me. You guys need to know this stuff. You need to hear this stuff. Somebody's got to tell you. And I'm just doing my little part by passing on this information. But this is so frustrating to just to wake up and have this happen. This is bad. This is bad. This is real bad. I'm going to leave it at that. Remember to travel, but travel safe.